Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kat, and for today, we've got a lot of things to talk about. I am finally feeling better, and so I was like, I have to film this Get Ready With Me so we can talk about the giveaway and just make sure that you guys know how to enter and everything. For those of you that are not new, I'm sure you're like, what is all of this? So I decided for the new year that I was going to change my background again. I know that roughly like once a year-ish, it seems like I change my background, and so it is time again, and this was the best thing that I could come up with. I'm probably gonna have like maybe some pictures or a sign or something over there, maybe different flowers, unsure yet, but this was the best way that I could come up with to kind of have Arya chill out rather than needing to like crunch on things every 2 seconds, because she has to be near me, and so this is the best way to get her to kind of be there. She is very interestingly kind of blending into the background of the blanket, so I might change that blanket to like something a little bit lighter, but this way the doggos can kind of be in the background always, because Rogue and Falco also love being on these chairs. She's a big snuggle muffin, so that is also part of what we're going to talk about in this Get Ready With Me, is the backstory of this sweet little nugget that we have here. I'm going to tell you guys all about everything that has to do with her. We're going to get into the giveaway, and because I ended up being so under the weather for so long, I was not able to show you guys the entire collection from the Swan Ballet, from Flower Nose, just because if I filmed that entire thing and then posted that one, then this video would be pushed back even further, and I just wanted to get the advent calendar to you guys. And I also, since I was feeling under the weather, I didn't want to show you guys the entire collection and be like touching it while sick. And so this way, all of the items that are going to be going to you guys are still completely sanitary. Okay, so we have a little bit of a change in doggo. Falco decided to jump up now instead of Arya, so you guys get to just see all the doggos today. But I just wanted to get the advent calendar out to you guys, and so this way you have about 5 days to enter, which I think is long enough. So that's kind of what I was thinking. So I'm just gonna start throwing some makeup on. I did already put primer on, so I'm just gonna jump right into foundation, and instead of showing you guys the collection, I'm just going to use some of the collection, and I'm going to link down below in the description my friend Debbie, her channel Debutante. She unboxed the entire collection, did swatches of all of the lipsticks, a whole bunch of other things, and she did a look, so that way you'll get 2 looks with the products as well as seeing the entire collection from her instead. So that way I feel like no one's missing out on anything. And as you can see, I will be using one of the Swan Ballet mirrors. They're very, very pretty, and you guys will also be getting one of these mirrors in the giveaway. So I'm very excited to kind of have you guys see everything that's going to be in there, because there's so many different products from different brands, and so I think the advent calendar is just going to be absolutely awesome. So I'm really, really excited to kind of hear whoever wins it, what you guys end up thinking of it, because I really like how it all kind of turned out together. So I think the first thing that we will talk about is going to be Arya, because she's right here, and I want to share what all happened with her before I get into anything else. And so I ended up picking her up towards the end of November, and she was a stray that I got from the animal care center that they have here in Tucson. So the way that it works at the animal care center here in Tucson is that you'll go in there and they give you the option, if you're 100% like ready to adopt, you can fill out a thing online to kind of get in line, and then they'll go through and kind of see what kind of dog or cat you're looking for and see if they can sort of match you with a particular animal based on the kinds of things that you're looking for and what they have available. And so for me, I was like, I'm unsure. And so I went, and another option that they have is that you can just kind of go through the kennels. They have the large dogs in one area, smaller dogs in another, and then they have cats in a whole other area, and then they also have kind of like a quarantine area. and the quarantine is for any of the strays that they have come in, that they're going to be hanging out in there, so that way in case they have like any illnesses or anything like that, they can just be in there until they've gone through the quarantine period for long enough to where, you know, the people can make sure that they're not going to potentially get any of the other doggos or cats sick when they're around them, because once they have gone through the quarantine, then the shelter will kind of let the dogs play around with each other in the different types of yards. So depending on if you're a large or a small dog, it goes based on weight on which of the particular dog park areas that you can kind of learn socialization in. And so with Arya, I didn't even know that she was at the shelter, and I had gone in to kind of look at some other dogs, and you know, I had found this one really cute dog, but it was a male, and the big thing was like, I really want a female dog because I don't want another male to potentially clash with Falco, even though he is just the goodest of boys. Yes, you are. Yes, and he's just like the best big brother that you could ever ask for as a doggo. And he's just so good with both of them. And so I figured getting a female dog would be better, because that would just kind of keep the same dynamic as what he and Rogue already have, just like with another dog. So I was looking around, but I had come across this super cute dog that was like this medium size, I would say. I think he was like somewhere around like 30-ish pounds, and he was just like nibbling my hand through the little cage thing that they had him in, and was just so cute. And I mean, it breaks your heart. Like, you want to adopt all of them. So I hadn't finished like going through all of the different dogs. Several of them were very skittish, and so I wasn't sure, you know, what would be the best option as far as that goes. And so I had also put my name down for them to kind of call me up to see if maybe they did have a different dog that would be a better option than what I had already looked at online for what they had. It was very interesting. So they went through a bunch of different dog breeds with me of what they had available. And the main thing that I told them was that I wanted a smaller dog. I didn't want it to be over 40 pounds because Rogue is about 45, so I kind of wanted to keep it similar size to Rogue, maybe a little bit smaller, so that way there wouldn't be any issues. But I didn't want a super small dog either, because Rogue can definitely be a little bit of like a high prey drive type of dog. That's just the nature of Shiba Inus, is with smaller animals like birds, cats, squirrels, things like that, much like many dogs, but Shibas especially love to go after little animals. And so because of that, I didn't want a super small dog that wouldn't potentially be able to put up a fight against her, you know. And so I was looking at like medium-sized dogs as what I was wanting to get. So I was talking through it a whole bunch with them. The kind of issue that we were running into was that they were like, well, we have a ton of large dogs, but like those medium-sized dogs, not too many. A lot of male dogs, not a lot of female dogs, which I suppose makes sense, but you know, it kind of was a little bit where I was like, I don't know, you know, probably not going to end up getting a dog then. And then they happened to have like scrolled by a picture of Arya, and I was like, wait, what was that doggo? And they were like, well, that's a stray that we just got in. It's a Belgian Malinois, and she was very tiny. They were initially estimating that she was like 1.5 years old, but just based on like looking at her, there's no way. Like, she very clearly was still a puppy, and was like, after I looked at her, I estimated around 8 months, and then when the vet re-looked at her and checked like her puppy teeth and everything, they kind of estimated around 8 months too. The main thing on why they were having a really hard time guesstimating what her age was is that she was severely malnourished because of having been a stray. and she weighed 19 pounds as an 8-month-old. And Belgian Mals, they are a little more on the lean side than a German Shepherd, but full grown males can get to be like 65-ish pounds. And so they can definitely become taller than a lot of German Shepherds, but they do stay more on the lean side just because they are much more of an agile working dog. And so German Shepherds are more of your bulk, and then the Mals are like your sprinter runners. With her being a female, the females definitely can be a little bit smaller and leaner, so when they're full grown, they can be around like 50, 55 pounds, maybe a little bit bigger depending, but they definitely are more on the lean side. But for her to be 19 pounds was like less than half of what she should have been weighing at that point. And it was just absolutely horrifying to see her. So when I picked her up, the first day that I had her, I took her to work with me so that way she wouldn't just immediately be like put in the mix with Falco and Rogue in like a new space where she, you know, doesn't know anything, and then she's just left alone with them. And so I took her to work with me. So here's a picture of her day one of me having her. It's nothing but heartbreaking when you see that, how thin she is. I mean, every rib was able to be seen, like her haunches on her back, like her back hips were just these, it was skin and bones. There was no muscle, no meat, nothing to her. I mean, she was just skin and bones, you know? But it truly was just absolutely heartbreaking to see her in that condition. Like, everyone was commenting about how she was looking and how sad it was, but she is also just the sweetest dog. Like, loves people, just sees you from a mile away and is just like, I want to say hi. So she is just the biggest snuggle bug. Like, here's a picture of like how she like sleeps with me like a little scarf. You know, she is just the biggest snuggler. She's coming up here, you can see she's right here. So just the biggest snuggle bug, because Falco and Rogue are not the hugest of snugglers. They're like leaners. They will lean up against me on the bed, but they won't snuggle. And Arya is like, you don't have to tell me twice, I'm gonna get up in there. And so she is just so cute with that, and I love it, because I was like, I've always wanted a dog that would snuggle with me, you know. And so I love that I finally got a big snuggler. And I am very happy to say that since having gotten her, she has put on 13 pounds. So in a little over a month, 13 pounds. So she's gotten to where she looks pretty much like a normal 8-month-old Belgian Mal. You know, she definitely has some more growing to do because her legs are very long, but she looks like that gangly kind of 8-month stage of awkwardness that you get with doggos. Like, Falco was the same way. You know, he needed to grow into his ears and his legs because he looked like a big deer when he was a puppy. And so she is now finally in that stage where she's looking so much healthier, and I'm just so proud of her and so glad about that, because it was very scary for the first couple of weeks where I was terrified that we were gonna lose her. And so I'm so glad that we were able to help her, and that she's just a happy little puppy. And so the way that I introduced her and Falco and Rogue was that I had a kennel for her that I put out in my hallway, and that way, while she was in the kennel and so protected, I let Falco and Rogue kind of go up and sniff around the kennel to get used to her scent. She could get used to them. And then once that started getting a little bit better, so the first night she didn't want to come out of the kennel at all. That was kind of her safe space, and I had given her a big stuffed animal to kind of hide behind, as well as her water bowl and her food bowl in there, so that way she, you know, wanted for nothing. And then when I would take her out to go to the bathroom, the other two were put up in their kennels, so that way it was just a very safe space for her where she didn't really feel threatened at all. And by the second, like halfway through the second day, what I had done was within the hallway, because it's kind of a long hallway that I have out there, I had put up a bench that I have as kind of like a barrier along with a couple other chairs, so that that way she could be out of her kennel and so could Falco and Rogue, and they could kind of meet nose to nose, but without their bodies being able to like full on get at each other quickly. Like they would have to parkour their way through. And so that worked out really, really well because they were able to kind of sniff each other out, get a little bit closer without anyone feeling threatened. And by the end of the third day, she was good enough with them to where she was able to come into the bedroom at night and sleep with the rest of us, because I don't like anytime where I am home, I don't like having my dogs in their kennels at all. They have free roam of the entire house, backyard, all of that stuff, because this is their home as much as it is mine. And so I am completely fine with the dog fur and everything. Like I clean regularly, but this is their home too, and so they get to be on the bed with me and everything. And so she was able to come up on the bed, so she was much happier after that. She felt a lot more comfortable. As a pause, we're gonna use the Black Swan blush, which is just absolutely gorgeous. This is the packaging on it. Just so, so pretty the way that it looks. Like the water in the background is absolutely beautiful. And then when you open it up, this just absolutely beautiful embossing that is on there. I am very sad that I am going to be dipping into this, but it's a good color. Okay, so let's see how much pigment we get off of this. It is definitely a very light pink, which also makes sense for the Asian brands. I also did grab one of the lighter ones. They did have darker shades in the blush collection, but I grabbed a lighter one. Not sure why, but I was like, we'll test it out, we'll see how it goes. And so I'm just gonna layer it on just a little bit more on here. Might grab another blush to throw on with it just to kind of see how that goes. Maybe add a little bit more pinkish, but with the eye color that I'm wanting to do, I think that this is probably gonna be all right. I don't wanna go too pink, because I'm going to be using the Black Swan eyeshadow palette, and I want to use that kind of deeper red in there, and so I don't want pink to kind of counteract the red on there. All right, I threw on a little bit of highlighter, and I think that actually helped to kind of deepen it up because it was a little bit more of a goldish toned one. So I think that layered really nicely on there. Perfect. Okay. So we are going to jump into the eye look, and like I said, I'm going to be using this guy, and I really kind of want to go into a little bit of a more smoky eye with these shades, because you've got this really deep red, and you've got black and dark gray, and then this guy actually has ever so slight, a little bit of like a grayish blue undertone to the white, and then we have silver, and then we have this kind of shimmery guy. So one of these guys, I think this guy, I'm going to end up using a little bit, but not too much, because I also have one of their liquid glitters that I kind of want to use on there too. So that's going to be what we're focusing on for the eye look. So that's kind of the deal with Arya. So she is here to stay and she is doing great. So I'm really happy about that. And yeah, that's just kind of how it is, and I like that you guys can kind of see the doggos in the background while I'm doing my makeup and showing you guys different things, so that way we always kind of have like a little bit of that, like, I don't know, dopamine kick from seeing some doggos. This is the best thing ever. This just goes to show you like how great Falco is of a big brother, because she just totally jumped up and was like, all right, we're sharing this seat. And Falco's just like, I guess this is my life now. Isn't that right, sweet boy? Yes, sir, this is your life now. Just being stepped on, I guess. And he's like, I hate it here. So the next thing that we are going to talk about is the giveaway, so that way you guys kind of know what's going on with that. So I put together an advent calendar, as I've been kind of teasing for like over a month now, and any of the unboxings that I have done for advent calendars, like the P. Louise one, the Yes Style one, the YSL one, any of those, there are products from those that are included in the advent calendar that I put together, as well as some other things that are more of surprises for you guys so that you didn't really know what was gonna be coming. Some of it I definitely did hint at though in those videos, and so if you were wanting to get a better idea of what could be included, just go back and watch those videos so that way you can kind of see what is up. But I essentially put together a 25-day advent calendar for you guys. Obviously it's not going to arrive in time for you to be opening all of the boxes before Christmas, but I figured this way it's just going to be a Christmas gift and then you can open it up like all at once, I guess. Let's just have like a super fun time. The way that it worked is I put all of the products into this tin that is kind of a German collector's tin that you can get every year. Nuremberg, which is where I'm from originally in Germany, they have this like massive tin that you can purchase every year that has a whole bunch of different types of Lebkuchen in it. And Lebkuchen is the closest thing that I could compare it to is like gingerbread in America, but it's not the same because gingerbread here, the way I think of it, is more like crispy, if that makes sense, whereas Lebkuchen is more cake-like and bready, but still has a lot of the really good spices and flavors to it. So for this year, I was lucky enough to be able to get a hold of one of those tins, and I thought it would be really fun for you guys to be able to kind of get that so that you have something from my heritage as well as just all of the other makeup things, because the tins make for a really, really good kind of storage thing because it's big, and so it's really, really great for storage, which is what I like to do. I put a lot of my crafting stuff into those kinds of tins. So I thought that would be kind of a fun way for you guys to just be able to partake. And there are going to be, for the majority of the days, multiple products in there, especially any of the days that are including products that are like sample size from like the YSL stuff. That is 100% going to have more than one item in those days. Because to me, if you're gonna give like fun size and sample size things out, then you need to give more than one a day. Which, interestingly enough, I saw Lauren May. I'm not sure for how many of you guys watch her channel, but she had recently unboxed the Vogue advent calendar, and they did that. Whereas pretty much anything that was sample size or not the full size, they were having multiple items within the box for that day, which I thought was just awesome. Like that is how it should be. So the way that you can go about entering the giveaway, along with just having the details in the description, you must be at least 18 years or older in order to enter. In this particular case, normally I don't do this for my giveaways, but given how large this giveaway is and the cost of shipping, you do need to be living in the US right now for me to be able to include you in the giveaway, just because otherwise I'm gonna be paying so much in shipping, and I don't have that much money. Like, the majority of the money was spent on the items. So that is the only bummer, is that this particular one has to just be people living in the US. But the majority of the time, so for like future giveaways, it is not like that. I will send, as long as the mail can be received wherever you live, I will send it there. But for this particular one, just because of how big it is, I can't do that. So you need to live in the US, and the way in which to let me know that you would like to be entered into the giveaway is that I always have people leave a specific topic in the comments below, so that way I kind of know that's my cue that you're wanting to be entered. So for today, the particular topic that I would like for you guys to discuss is, for next year, what kinds of things would you want to see from my channel moving forward? Do we prefer the makeup reviews? Do we prefer more of just the swatching videos that I do? Do we prefer unboxings? Do you prefer me doing makeup looks? Would you guys want for me to be including some things outside of makeup? Let me know what you guys would like to see in the comments. So that'll be how I know that you're wanting to enter into the giveaway, is that you're gonna let me know what you would like to see from me next year for content. I am also very excited to report that I am almost done with my master's. I will be graduating in May. My last class finishes in April, but the graduation will be in May. And so after that, I have a whole lot more free time. And so it's gonna be a lot easier for me at that point to do way more content, which is gonna be nice because I definitely miss posting more regularly and doing more makeup looks. This is one of those things that makes me feel a whole lot better, and so I really missed being able to post regular content